Lucas doesn't have his mic and speakers. He has the telephone thing on.
Oh, okay. Hey, Lucas, do you see that button on your control panel that says audio? If you push it and open it up, it'll say telephone or mic and speakers. Click mic and speakers.
I can't hear you. It happened to me before.
Oh.
That's one time I went to a virtual classroom and then I couldn't hear anything, so I had to leave.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna
I
type
can't hear you, and apparently you can hear me.
go to audio and choose. Yeah, I'm typing them right now, Jacob. Mic and speakers. You're on telephone, so you can't hear us. Hopefully he'll see that. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started, and hopefully he's reading his chat eventually. Um, so just, little reminders about what's coming up. Of course, we have a Meritown, so just start looking ahead to that and saving up your $20. Um, you have this week, well, I guess you got about 2 weeks now to finish up your digital literacy and citizenship lesson. And Nicholas, were you able to get in and out?
Yeah, except when I found it, the teach one, teach two, and teach three thing, it would just like say stuff like it was kind of like saying as if I were a teacher.
Oh,
I didn't give me any assignments or anything. It was just things to read.
oh, that's kind of weird. So you might not have gone to the right place. And Lucas, no, we cannot hear you. So sorry, Lucas. Um, Try to push mic and speakers. Well, maybe if we have a couple minutes at the end, Nicholas, we'll take a look at that. That might be helpful for a couple other people as well. Just a little reminder about next week. Next week is a 2-day week, and that's because obviously of the holiday. So if you were in a regular school, you would not be going to school on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So basically, you can plan on working like normal on Monday and Tuesday. And then on, Wednesday and Friday, if you need to catch up on things, then you can maybe do that. But there won't be anything new for a Wednesday and Friday. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then on Monday, we're going to have a help session VC. So we're not going to have a whole lot of new curriculum by that time because it's only a few days away. So if you come across something, as you're working in your lessons that is difficult, it could be in any subject. It doesn't have to just be math or whatever. Just pop into the help session and we'll get it taken care of. It could even be an issue like your digital literacy and citizenship lesson. Okay, so my mouse is kind of off today, but that's all right. All right, so today, um, do we have any examples of math in real life? Anything that's come up recently? Go ahead, Nicholas.
Um, well, at when I don't understand why I didn't think of this sooner, but for addition, basically, if you go to any restaurant, and then like you, the people have to add the cost for each meal that you buy. So I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner, but
Oh, okay. And did you know that they figure the tax out based on the total of the price too?
yeah,
So, it's all kind of relative there. And then also, part of being in a restaurant is figuring out the tip that you have to leave. If you do like a 20% tip, that's usually, oops, sorry, really easy to figure out because you could figure out 10% really quickly and then just add 10% plus 10%. But if you start doing things like an 18% tip, it gets a little fuzzy. But yeah, so those are definitely examples of math in real life. I had one just yesterday at the museum. Was that yesterday? Sorry, no, that was 2 days ago. Um, there were about 5 people who didn't show up who said they were going to, and so that was five students plus their parents. So overall, somewhere between 10 and 15 people, and that definitely changed the cost. So I had to do some quick math and refiguring things, and we got it all worked out. But yeah, those are things that happen in real life. They just come up. Yeah, go ahead, Autumn.
Well, later, like I have two things, but later, I get like there are these things called point shoes. Have you heard of them?
Is it for like ballet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like so excited to get them because normally you get them around 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And then so there's like a lot of things in point shoes. Like you have to have toe protectors and like tape and this thing that goes around your toes to make sure the point shoe doesn't hurt your toes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to have like the sewing kit and including the point shoes, which will cost like a ton of money. So when I
Yeah.
go to the store to get them, I'm gonna figure out how much all of that costs.
Yes.
Probably like 100 something. And then my other thing was in one of the questions in the tests, it it was wrong actually. I actually had to ask my dad about this, and he actually said that it was wrong because it was the Unit 3 exam. It was number 6.
Unit 3, number 6. Okay. Did you send a ticket to Lincoln?
Oh no, I don't know how to do that.
Okay, on the website there should be something that says like send help desk ticket or send
Oh, okay.
ticket, and you would just write them and say that, hey, I found an answer that looks wrong and whatever. You need to change your test. So
Okay.
that's really interesting. I do you remember what the problem was by chance or?
It was about like a dog thing. I don't
Oh, it was
remember what the numbers were though.
okay. I could go back and look at it later, and I can send a help desk ticket as well. But okay, well, today we don't have a whole lot of new content, so it might not take the full hour, but we're going to definitely work on division patterns, which you've been doing, which is multiples of 10 and just, doing division, and then just regular division problems, and then we can have some game time as well. Yes, Nicholas, you have a question?
Yes. Um, in keyboarding, when there's those interactive lessons that aren't on a mastery, they're not super good because, like, one time it told me to type out these things and then it said, "What is the boy wearing?" So I typed in hat and it said incorrect. So I typed in cap and it said incorrect. And then I typed in head because I didn't know anything else to do. Then I did necklace and then I finally gave up and it said it was hat.
And you had typed in hat. Are you sure you
Yeah.
spelled it correctly?
Yeah.
HAT. uh, I don't know what to tell you about that. When you come across things in Lincoln that seem to be malfunctioning or just plain out wrong, you need to send a ticket to them because I can't do the programming from their site. That's just not something I have access to. But did you? Oh, Jacob has a good question. Did you have your caps lock on by chance?
No.
No, you didn't. You had lowercase. Well, who knows?
Oh, and when it says like those lessons where it says click on the finger that is used to key the letter something, and it said J, so I did my uh, index finger on my right hand, and it said incorrect.
I'm
And then I
sorry.
typed in my middle finger, which types K, and it said correct.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry about that. But when you find things like that in Lincoln, just send them a ticket and tell them they need to fix it. But sorry, I'm sure you're getting more practice than you would have by yourself, maybe. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. We have something really easy to start with at first, and this is just division patterns with multiples of 10. And you could tell they're multiples of 10 because, they end in zeros. So basically, what you need to know about problems like this is that if you know your basic division facts, You can solve any of these problems on the screen. So, can somebody just point out what the basic division fact is before we get started? Yeah, go ahead, Autumn.
It's basically 35 divided by 7.
Yeah, that's the basic fact that if you know that, then you could solve the entire thing. So, the way I like to think about it when I see a problem like this is I look at both sides of the equation here, and if they share a zero, I pretty much just get rid of that zero and ignore it. I
Gone.
cancel it out. I put it that way. I cancel it out because
Gone. It's goner.
what was that, Nick? Sorry.
I said they're goners.
Yes, they are goners. Exactly. When both sides of the equation share it, you could just cancel it out. So now basically you're left with 35 divided by 7, and of course your answer is 5. Um, so 350 divided by 70, your answer is still 5. Very simple stuff. But then let's look at this next problem though. You can see the basic fact is still 35 divided by 7. But when I look at both sides of the equation, they only share one zero. So I can only cancel out one zero on this side, and I'm left with this one left over. So that means this one is still going to show up in my answer. So basically, again, 35 divided by 7, of course, is 5. And then this 0 is still there. So I need to put it in my answer. So that answer is 50. Yes, go ahead, Nick.
In the first one, it's 350, and in the second one, after you do the zero takeoff, it's 350, which is the answer as the previous one. And then if you take off, and then when you do the zero takeoff on the third one, it's the same as the previous original.
I know. I might have just planned that to show you the division pattern. So obviously the same, and I just figured out I have colors on this, so I'm so excited. But the basic, I know it's pretty crazy. The basic division pattern, I mean problem, again, is still 35 divided by 7. But now let's cancel out zeros. This side has 2, so I'm going to get rid of those 2. And then I'm going to come over here and cancel out 2. So what I'm going to be left with in my answer are 2 zeros. So 35 divided by 7, go ahead, Nicholas.
Is 5 plus 2 zeros equals 500.
There you go. So give me a thumbs up if that is pretty darn easy for you. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Let's see, Jacob wrote something into the chat. Let me just take a look. That's right, thumbs up. Perfect. So this is probably the easiest kind of division that you've been working with. Obviously, when you are not working with multiples of 10, it gets a little bit more challenging. Not too bad, but so let's take a look at, oh wow, check this out, guys. I can do, let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's just gray. Never mind, I'm not excited anymore. Let's look at some regular division problems, and that's like 2 and 3 digit problems. And I want to just see by a show of hands, how many people have ever heard of the phrase, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers?
No.
Okay, Lucas has. Oh, no, he hasn't. Okay, what that is it's just an acronym. That's just what it stands for. To help you remember the steps of division. Because sometimes when you're doing a long division problem, you kind of get lost and you kind of just don't remember what you're supposed to do next, and it gets confusing. So if you can always remember, does, I'm going to write it in a different color actually. This will be really cool now that I found my colors. So does, oh, okay, that didn't work. Okay. My pen is not as wonderful as I would hope that it was, but whatever. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? This is the steps to a division problem. The first thing you do is divide, multiply, subtract, check, and then bring down. So let's do a problem together. Let's just walk through it and I'll show you what I mean. Go ahead and write this problem down. How about 437 divided by 39? Okay. And actually, I'm gonna wipe this and put it. I'm gonna put it up here on the top of the screen so I have room to actually do the problem. Oh, today is not my day with this pen. I'm pushing so hard, you have no idea. Okay. Okay, so let me just put that little reminder up here again. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? To remember our steps in case we get lost. And let's just go through it together. Okay. When I'm looking at this problem, so you could kind of just work it out with me. And then the next couple, I'll let you kind of do more on your own. When you're looking at this problem, the first thing you do is look at this divisor and you say 39. Well, obviously that can't fit into 4, so I'm going to move on to the 43. How many groups of 39 fit into 43? Autumn?
1.
1. Good. So that was your first step, guys. Look what you did. You just divided. What's your second step? Multiply. So 1 times 39.
39.
39. And Lucas, what's your third step?
You S
S stands for subtract.
minus
Subtract. Yeah, subtract. Same thing. Great. So 43 minus 39. So basically that turns into 13 minus 9, everyone?
13 minus 9.
Or anybody, I should say. Good. Yeah, hold up your fingers. Okay, good. Now we're to a step that a lot of people skip. And they would get the problem wrong a lot of times. But if you would just do this step, you'll get it right. And it's the check step. Okay, that's what C stands for, is check. What you are checking is to make sure that this number that you just got is smaller than your divisor. Is 4 smaller than 39? Then you're good. Okay? What does the B stand for? Go ahead, Nicholas. What was that?
When I learned long division in 3rd and 4th grade, because it's pretty easier to forget over the summer, we always dropped the 7, so the number total would be 47.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going to do next. That's what the B stands for, is bring down. I always draw a little arrow. That's what B stands for, is bring down. So now, guess what we do? We start back at step 1, which is divide. So how many groups of 39 fit into 47? Hold up your fingers. Just 1. Good. What's my second step? Multiply. So 1 times 39, of course, is 39. Autumn, what's my third step?
subtraction.
Subtract. Good. So everyone work out the problem. 47 minus 39. Good, Jacob. I'm glad you do. You're fast. What's 17 minus 9? Anyone? 8. Good. Very nice. Now don't forget this step to check. Let's check. Is 8 smaller than 39? Yes, it is. So that means you're doing it correctly. If you get a number down here that was bigger than 39, it means this number up here is wrong and you need to increase this number. Okay, so now we're kind of to a weird point. There's no other numbers in 437. Do you see what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a decimal and then add a couple zeros. so that I'm actually able to bring something down. So I just checked. Now I'm going to bring down that 0. And now I start over again with divide. So how many groups of 39 fit into 80? 2. Good, because that's almost 40, right? So now I have my second step, which is multiply. 2 times 39. Now, yeah, I mean, if this is a problem that you want to go off to the side and do 39 times 2, you can. Or just kind of watch, I'm going to change the color. Watch how my pen
40 minus 2.
will do it right here. So 2, if you don't like want to go off to the side and do 39 times 2, you can break this up and make it smaller. What's 2 times 9? 18, right? Put your 8 here, carry your 1. What's 2 times 3? 6 plus 1 is 7. So that's all right, very good. And so then that's about as far as actually you're going to have to go in 5th grade is to the 10th position. So 11.2. Nicholas, go ahead.
Well, an easier way you could do, you could solve 39 times 2 is just do 80 minus 2.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, you could pretend that this was a 40, right? And that's what you meant.
Yeah, and then subtract 2.
Exactly. But if people weren't into doing the mental math, they could at least look at it this way. With the 2 times 9 is 18, carry the 1, and so forth. Okay, so obviously this could be a repeating, I could just keep going and going with this problem, but 11.2 is, probably as far as you need to go. So let's try another one.
Zeros don't matter unless they're before the number that isn't a 0. But if they're after any number and there's no number after that, then they don't matter. You could just take them off and they'd be the same thing.
Sure.
So if you had like 2 0, it would be 20 hundredths, but you could just take that off and it could be 2 tenths.
Okay, well, yes, thank you. 2 tenths is the same thing as 20 hundredths. That's right. Let's do 160 divided by 37. I'm going to let you work on this for a couple minutes, and I'm just going to write the steps on the top again. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? So divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. And let's just let you work on it for about 1 minute, and then we'll talk. And let me just tell you, before you get too far, when I'm looking at 37, it does not fit into a 1. 37 does not fit into 16, but it will fit into 160. So in my head, I kind of changed 37 to 40 in my head, and I'm just like, 40 plus 40 is 80. That's probably too small. 40 plus 40 plus 40, that would be a 3. That might work. 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40, that's a 4. That might work too. So I would try either a 3 or a 4. Oh, are you sleeping, kitty? Are you sleepy? I'm boring my cat. He's snoring right now. Kitty doesn't like division. Okay, Autumn's ready. Let's give everyone maybe 30 more seconds. Jacob, type something into the chat when you're ready. Even just a letter or something. Um, Okay, so I'm getting some answers in the chat. I think we're about ready. Oh yeah, okay, remainder 12. Well, we're close. I don't really like remainders as much as I like doing the decimal. So let's go ahead and start this problem off. And Jacob told me that he thinks 37 fits into 164 times. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. I think you're right. Okay, so now what we have is the problem, because remember our second step is to multiply. Now we have 4 times 37. So if I want to make this a little easier, I can do 4 times 7 and then 4 times 3. So everybody, what's 4 times 7?
28.
28. So here's my 8, carry the 2. What is 4 times 3?
4 times 3 equals 12.
12. What's 12 plus 2?
14.
Very nice. I like the accent. So now my third step is to subtract. So now I have 160 minus 148. So I'll come over here and borrow. 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay, so I could stop here and I can say an answer of 4, remainder 12, and that's a pretty good answer. But if I wanted to take it, just a little farther, we can do some decimals. So right now we are to the check stage. Is 12 smaller than 37? Yes, it is. So you are ready. Let me erase.
Yep.
Let me erase some stuff here.
No.
So we're ready to go on. I don't have any more numbers to work with, so I'm going to have to add a decimal and some zeros. So here's a decimal and some more zeros. So I am to the bring down stage. So I'm going to bring down a 0. And now I'm working with how many groups, I'm back to divide, how many groups of 37 into 120? Well, we know that 4 times 37 is 148, so that would be too much. Do you want me to try maybe a 3? Yeah, let's try 3. So 3 times 7 is 21. 1, carry the 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2
11.
is 11. Perfect. I'm to my subtract step. 120 minus 11. This should be mental math, but 9. Good. Now I'm to my check step. Is 9 smaller than 37?
Yes.
Yes, so you're correct and you are ready to bring down another 0. We could probably stop there. 4.3 is a pretty good answer. We could take it one more step though. If 3 times 37 is 111, well, that's going to be too big if we did another 3 up here. So what about a 2? Yeah, that's what Autumn's telling me to do. So we'll do a 2. Let me erase this so it doesn't confuse us. Okay, so now we have 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Perfect. 90 minus 74 is 16. Is 16, I'm to my check stage, is 16 smaller than 37?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So I'm doing it correctly. I'm just going to stop here though, because this is probably far enough. 4.32, I'm sorry, 4 and 32 hundredths would be a great answer. And Autumn, you're 4, remainder 12, clear up here when we stopped right here. That's an okay answer too. It's correct, but okay, let me see by a show of thumbs or thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs sideways how this is feeling. Pretty good. Does this help you guys? This checking your steps each time and making sure that you are dividing and then you multiply, then you subtract, then you check, then you can go ahead and bring down. Good. And then you just repeat and you go back to step 1 again. Divide. Okay. So let's go to my favorite website ever and do some of these problems. It's not my favorite website ever, but I'm just just throwing that out there. Okay, if we do a couple more practice problems here, then we can go to a little game that I have. This is actually easier. 2-digit numbers by 2-digit. So this should be pretty quick. Okay, first problem. Maybe. Okay, 89 divided by 17. Oh, they're going to let you off the hook easy with remainders, so.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay, what's going on with my sketch? That's not what I wanted to do. Let's try one more time. Give everybody a second. Good, 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 good. So this is actually a little easier, I'm hoping, because it's only 2 digits.
And there's a remainder.
And it's a remainder, exactly. They're not going to even make you do decimals and adding zeros. And the reason I do a decimal and then add zeros is it's more of an exact answer, but. And maybe I just like division and I like to space it out. Okay, but here we go. How many groups of 17 fit into 89? Let's have Autumn.
Okay. There are 5 groups.
Okay, I'm going to come over here and rewrite it because it's going to be way bigger.
No.
Yeah, I know. My pen is, I know. Okay, so Autumn.
Just saying that because my screen was going dark and I didn't want it to shut off because then I would have to type my password again.
Oh, okay. Well, 5 times 7 is 35. And then 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. That's perfect. Oh, this is simple. And then 89 minus 5 is 4. So your answer is 5, remainder 4. Yay! Okay, so let's just double check. Wonderful. Okay, I think you guys are ready to play the game because these are only going to get easier. I mean, it's just 2 digits. And,
That's 2.
yeah, exactly, with a small remainder. Okay.
Well, actually would.
You know what? Let's practice just maybe a couple more with 3 digits because that's kind of what you've been working on, and all that they have here on this website is 2 digits. So let me just come up with a couple. and then we'll play our game, because our game is actually easier too. It's only 2 digits. So what we need to really think about, though, is 3 digits. So here we go. Let's do 549 divided by, let's do 34. Okay, let me write my steps on the top. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? And I'm going to give you 2 minutes to work. What do you think, Kitty? Do you like this division problem better? Take it out 2 decimal places, if you would. Okay. Looks like we're still working. Okay. Yay! Type it into the chat. Oh, good. Okay. I like that answer, Autumn. Maybe I need to give you more than 2 minutes, huh? Maybe more like 4. Oh, Kitty. You not like division? This cat is snoring. He's not real impressed. You're really close, Jacob. I think you just added a number for some reason that shouldn't be there. Probably just mistyped. Okay, let's go ahead and work through it. Jacob told me that there are one group of 34 will fit into 54, so this would be 1. And then my second step is to multiply. So, Lucas, what is 1 times 34?
34.
Good. My next step is to subtract, and that's right, Jacob. 54 minus 34 is 20. My next step is to check to make sure that this is smaller than 34, and 20 is smaller than 34, so I'm correct, and I'm able to move on. My next step is to bring down. So now I'm getting from most people that they think 34 fits into 209 about 6 times. And if you wanted to just kind of, think about that in a different way, you can maybe change this to a 30, and you could say 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30. Yeah, I think 6 is about something that you would try. So 6 times 4 is 24. And carry the 2. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20, and that is a fantastic guess. And then we could just stop here and say 16, remainder 5. Another way we can do it too is we could, let me erase this for a second. I could add a decimal and a couple zeros, and I could keep going with the numbers. So let's just show you what that would look like. 16 remainder 5 is a fine answer, though. So right now I'm to the check stage. Is 5 smaller than 34, everyone? Yes,
Yes.
it is. So I'm to the bring down. I'd bring down a 0. And how many groups of 34 fit into 50? Well, obviously 1. Then I'm to the multiply stage. 1 times 34, 34. Then I'd be to the subtract stage. And I would just go on and on. Sometimes it'll tell you to the nearest tenth, or sometimes it'll tell you to the nearest hundredth, whatever. But 16.1 or 16 remainder 5 are beautiful answers. Okay. Let's see by a show of hands. Are we ready to play a game? Okay. Feeling pretty good? Okay. All right, here we go. Let's find it. We are going to do two-digit divisors because that's about as difficult as we can make this game. And here we go. Oh, wow. We have our location in London. See this little picture? We're in London. We want to get to Paris. Okay. So the distance traveled so far is nothing because we haven't left yet. And we have all these miles or whatever to travel. Doesn't quite make a lot of sense, but either way, to board the flight, we need to answer the correct, or we need to give the correct answer. And they're going to let you do a remainder here as well. So go ahead and write down 12,951 divided by 47. Let's take a picture of it. Okay. Stupid pen. Okay. A couple more minutes. What do you think, Kitty? Okay. So as you start getting answers, you can type it into the chat. Oh, you want to work out this problem with us, Kitty? You want to go to Paris since your name is Paris? What do you think? These kiddos are working hard on this problem. And you're just sitting there. Why do you always have to sit on my notebook? You know, you're kind of in the way. Okay, about one more minute. This is a longer problem, definitely. Our plane for France is leaving soon. Okay. It's a big yawn. All right, guys, let's start talking through this, and you could just kind of pick up wherever you left off once we get to that. Um, our first step would be to divide. So we needed to figure out how many groups of 47 fit into 129. And I saw most people say 2, right? So 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So now what's my next step? My next step would be to subtract, right? So 129 minus 94. Come over here. Then I gotta come over here and borrow. Everybody, what's 12 minus 9?
It is 3.
Good. Next step is to check. I need to make sure that 35 is smaller than 47. And is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. So I can bring down. That's a 5. Sorry. So now I need to figure out how many groups of 47 fit into 355. What would you like me to try? You want me to think of this as like 50 and think of this as 350. So 50 plus 50 is 100. 2 would be too small. Plus another would be 150, still too small. 200 would be 4. That's still too small. A 5 would be what? 250. 6. Ooh, we're getting closer. Maybe I'll try a 7. What do you think? Let's try 7. Or we could try 8. You know what? Let's try 8 and see if that gives us something that's too small, too big. Let's just check it out. I gotta erase this. It's gonna kill me. There we go. All right. So we're gonna try an 8 and see how that works out for us. 8 times 7 is what? 56? Carry the 5. 8 times 4 is what? Thank you. And what's 32 plus 5?
37.
37. So what does that tell you about the 8? Because look, 355 minus 376, yeah, that's too high. So we're going to have to erase that 8. Sorry, this takes me a second to get my eraser, and we're going to have to get the 8 out of there and try a 7. So why don't you, on your own paper, while I'm doing this erasing, plug in a 7 and see what you get. So now I have 7 times 47. Mm-hmm. So just to kind of walk you through it as you're listening, 7 times 7 is 49. Carry the 4. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 4 is 32. So that looks better. 355. Oh my gosh. Minus 329. Stupid pen. Okay. Anybody have this worked out yet? This problem? 355 minus 29? Go ahead, Autumn.
Let me find it. I did like a lot of writing.
Okay.
Um, oh, I got 261.
Okay. 355 minus 329. Are you sure?
Oh wait, I might be looking at the wrong one. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Let's just we could start here with 15 minus 9. Which would be 6, right? And then 4 minus 2 is 2. So now we're going to be at the check. So is 26 smaller than 47? Yes, it is. So we can go ahead and bring down that 1. That's where you were getting that 261. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to wipe this board clean. Because it just wasn't big enough to do this problem. Sorry, guys. Wow, that was really big. Ah! This pen is killing me. Ah! It's so off. Like I have to think about like writing half an inch above where I want it to go. It's terrible. Okay, so we're all the way down here. We have a 2 and a 7 so far. We're all the way down here and we have 261. So now, how many groups of 47 fit into 261? Probably, let's try 5. So now we have 5 times 47. So 5 times 7 is 35. Carry the 3. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23. So now we are to our subtract step. So 261 minus 235. And that's going to be our remainder. Okay, 261 minus 235. Anyone? Go ahead, Autumn.
26.
Okay, very good. You and Jacob definitely got that. So we're going to type in 275 remainder 26 and see if we're right. This was a long problem. Yay! So now, oh, we don't have a whole lot of time. Let's try to fit in one more. Let's try to move from Paris to Sweden. And our problem, this is a little smaller, so 6,744 divided by 76. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers?
Yes, they do actually.
Yes. Should always draw this on your paper though, just to remind yourself of the steps. Okay. This is longer today than I thought, but long division takes a long time, I guess. Ha ha ha.
I can't do it within 6 minutes or 4 minutes.
Kitty, what do you think? This is not your favorite subject, is it, Kitty? You just want to sit there and snore. I'll give you a hint if you haven't gotten this far yet. 76 fits into 674 8 times. Eight times 6. Oh, Kitty, it's a very gray morning out there, they said. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, I'm watching you, Nick. Go ahead, Autumn. Do you have a question?
Okay. Oh no, I got the answer.
Oh, perfect. All right, walk me through it, and Nicholas is showing us a trick at the same time. We are multitasking. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so first I got 674, and I did that. Sorry.
That's okay. So you did the division and then the multiplying. So
Yeah.
what's 8 times 76?
Is 608.
Okay, now you are to your subtract steps. So what's 674 minus 608?
66, but add the 4 down.
Okay, well, we got to check first, and that is smaller. So great. Now we can bring the 4 down. And how many times does 76 fit into 664?
8 times.
8 times again, right? So 608. Subtract. And what's my remainder?
It's 56.
56. Let's see if, oops, gosh, that's a terrible 6. Let's see if we're right.
I think you did a 4.
We got it correct. All right, guys. This has been super fun. We are out of time, but give me a thumbs up or type into the chat if you think today was helpful and, you know, remembering the steps. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers is kind of, you know, a good way to remember how to do long division. Good. Is that better, Lucas? Okay, well, this has been fun. I guess I'll see you Monday if you have any questions. Like, you know, if you want to come to the help session. If not, then I'll see you the following week. And have a happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
All right, bye guys.